joining me this evening for my inaugural State of the County address. Before I begin, let me say how honored I am to serve as your county mayor. We truly live in a wonderful place rich in history, and God has blessed us with so many opportunities. My first year as your mayor went by quickly, and we came with a big agenda to meet the growing demands of our county. We have accomplished a lot in the first year, and we will discuss those accomplishments and our goals for the upcoming year. As many of you know, my mother's family goes back 6 generations here in Rutherford County, and my family, like so many before us, has been blessed by the land, the people, and the culture of Rutherford County. Whether you are a recent transplant or have lived here your entire life, you understand the great hope Rutherford County affords everyone with its wonderful school system, great business climate, and extraordinary residents. Rutherford County is truly a blessed place to live, work, and worship. And so, because God has blessed us with much, then much is required. According to the Tennessee Comptroller, Rutherford County is the 43rd fastest growing county in the United States and the fastest growing county in the state of Tennessee. That means that we have an additional 9,000 to 10,000 people every year relocating to Rutherford County, which equates to 1,200 to 1,500 additional students in our public school system. It's no wonder why people are flocking here in record numbers. Rutherford County is a destination for a lot of people from across the country wanting to find a place to raise their families with the same values and principles they grew up with. As our county becomes more and more divided, as our country becomes more and more divided, our community will continue to stand out as a beacon of hope that there are still places where you can experience the freedom and liberty to raise a family or start a business. A place where neighbors still help each other, where people still worship together, and that we all understand God's blessing comes with great responsibility. The state of the county is good. So let's spend some time highlighting some of our accomplishments, let's discuss our challenges, and let's detail our vision going forward. I would be remiss if I didn't start out with thanking God that no human lives were lost when the EF2 tornado with 130-mile-per-hour winds decimated historic buildings and homes on the morning of April 1st in the Reederville and Eagleville communities. As many of you know, this caused a great amount of destruction in these communities and Cannon County in particular. However, county lines were no longer barriers as neighbors, businesses, organizations, and county departments rallied in a valiant effort to clean up and restore these communities. When I surveyed the damage with Cannon County Mayor Greg Mitchell, we were without words at the devastation, but at the same time saw the strong spirit of the community alive and well, as evidenced by an American flag placed in the rubble of a destroyed home. Many experts believe that these devastated communities would take at least 4 weeks to clean up. However, our efforts, along with 1,000 community volunteers, were able to clean up the debris in 10 days. Again, this cleanup effort not only included homes damaged in Rutherford County, but the vast majority of those in neighboring county. While our Rutherford County first responders were assisting communities of Eagleville, Reederville, and Cannon County, we were already well into trying to solve another potential crisis. A couple of months after taking office as your mayor, I learned that I had inherited a record $64 million budget deficit. My staff and I, along with Finance Director Michael Smith, spent literally hundreds of hours analyzing how to reduce the deficit while at the same time making sure we met our financial obligations and maintained our AAA bond rating. The very first thing we set out to do was find where we could save money. I informed all my departments, along with the county constitutional officers, with the exception of first responders, that there would be no increase in departmental budgets. I want to remind you we did this when our nation was experiencing an 8 to 10% inflation rate. All of these departments complied with my request, and as a result, we were able to save $25 million to the county's budget. That's a big deal. As you are probably aware, a significant majority of Rutherford County's budget is designated for schools, and these efforts to reduce our deficit would not have been possible without the assistance of Dr. Jimmy Sullivan. Through their efforts, they were able to reduce their funding request from the county by approximately $15 million. Rutherford County, like I have said, is the 43rd fastest growing county in the nation. That growth creates an increased demand for services. By not increasing their budget, each department actually did more with less. The budget deficit, as previously stated, was a direct result of the unprecedented growth Rutherford County has experienced within the last 10 years. We have not been afforded the same tools that other counties and cities have to manage that growth. Counties such as Williamson, Wilson, and Dixon have the ability to assess an impact fee or development tax on new residential development. However, with the implementation of the 2006 County Powers Relief Act, Rutherford County is not afforded that same opportunity. Even within our own county, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, Laverne, and Eagleville are able to structure their finances so that growth can pay for itself. However, Rutherford County is unable to do the same. Instead, our only solution for paying for all the expansion of infrastructure and services as a result of that very same growth is to raise property taxes. That is not right. We need the same tools to pay for growth as other cities and counties in Tennessee. Property taxes were never meant to pay for the expansion of services. Property taxes are designed to pay for the maintenance and upgrade of existing services. And it is wrong for the property taxpayers of Rutherford County to have to continue to pay for the expansion of these services. Rutherford County will continue to work with our state delegation to bring about change so that the property taxpayers do not continue to bear the burden of growth. We believe the implementation of an impact fee or a development tax on new residential growth would allow for that new growth to pay for the expansion of services necessary without burdening the existing tax base, which receives no direct benefit for that growth. Growth must pay for itself. Rutherford County, however, will continue to pursue alternative revenue streams. For example, the planning and engineering and building codes teams recently overhauled their fee structure in an attempt to make these departments self-sustaining. Another area of concern regarding growth is the Middle Point landfill and the Walter Hill community. While there may be a dispute as to when Middle Point will close, everyone agrees closure is inevitable. Whether the closure of the landfill is 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years away, quite honestly, is irrelevant. We must have a plan to deal with our solid waste. That's why we came together to develop a plan to ensure Rutherford County trash doesn't pile up in the streets. The approved transfer station will allow Rutherford County a cost-effective, environmentally safe, and responsible way to deal with solid waste. We will no longer be the trash can for Middle Tennessee. For far too long, our residents have watched as other counties have dumped their trash here. Now, within a couple of years, Trash Mountain will close, and it's about time. The Solid Waste Department just hasn't been busy with Middle Point Landfill, however. We have embarked on multiple projects to maximize savings. For example, we have extended the single stream recycling program to all of our convenience centers. The single stream method allows our residents to deposit all recyclable material, except glass, into the same container, eliminating the need to separate their recyclables. We are hopeful this change, by making recycling easier for our community, will encourage more residents to join us in our efforts to divert waste from the landfills. The single stream recycling program will generate over $400,000 in cost savings and repurpose over 2,000 man-hours. The substantial growth of Rutherford County has created a challenge for our fire department and emergency medical service departments as well. In order to meet these demands, the county has embarked on the building of 6 public health and safety buildings throughout the county. These public health and safety buildings are an effort to decrease the response time of our first responders. And I'm happy to announce the first of these buildings has already opened in Rockvale and Kittrell communities. Las Casas and Walter Hill are under construction, and the other 2, Christiana and Del Webb, are not far behind. This year has uncovered, unfortunately, a developmental challenge in my relationship with the County Commission. I want you to know I remain committed to the separation of powers between the executive branch of the Mayor's office and the legislative branch of the County Commission. It's important, but we must have order and civility if we are to work together. It is important that we as elected officials remember we are here to serve the people who elected us. There is no place for egos and personalities that hinder moving our county forward. I'm going to be transparent in this regard, and being civil to one another is non-negotiable. However, despite some of these challenges, our vision is moving forward. The Word says, where there is no vision, the people will perish. To me, this means that if we do not have a vision for our community and our way of life, someone else will turn our community into what they want it to be. Our community is growing and it is vibrant. Therefore, we must have a vision for what we want this growth to look like for our children and our grandchildren. We must grow, but it has to be growth that we envision. So part of that vision is helping our citizens to prosper. And as many of you know, drugs have had a devastating effect on our community. The number of people who have succumbed to this addiction is staggering. That is why I'm excited about the renovation and expansion of the Recovery Court facility here in Rutherford County. With this expansion, we'll be able to get more people into our program and save more lives. This Second Chance program works by producing amazingly low recidivism rates, helping our citizens to get out of the justice system and off the drugs so they can lead productive lives. With it currently costing almost $83 per day to house someone in the Rutherford County Detention Facility, this program is also reducing costs to the county while at the same time rebuilding families and broken relationships. In order for us to continue to prosper, we must also offer some of the best public education in the state. One of the reasons so many people are moving to Rutherford County is because of the quality education our children receive. Thankfully, Rutherford County has some of the best schools in the state, and it is our desire to continue to meet the challenges and needs of our students well into the future. To help make this vision a reality, we are funding a $156 million expansion of Riverdale, Oakland, and Smyrna high schools. This expansion will not only make our schools safer from those who wish to do them harm, but it will also expand the classroom space we need for our ever-growing student population. The Mayor's Office is dedicated to partnering with the School Superintendent, Dr. Sullivan, and our Rutherford County School Board to ensure our schools keep up with the annual student population increases while maintaining excellent curriculum standards. Over the past year, Rutherford County, in collaboration with the Greater Nashville Regional Council, has embarked on a growth plan called Plan Rutherford. Plan Rutherford is a county-wide initiative to engage residents and businesses in defining a vision for the future. In addition, it is a comprehensive plan to guide growth and development and local government investment in the county over the next 2 decades. This plan is now moving into the second phase after gathering months of community input. During the second phase of this program, the county and GNRC will begin to brainstorm ideas for improvement based on the information already collected as we continue to hold town hall events and workshops throughout the community to gather additional input. This information received throughout this process enables us to recommend land use policies, economic development strategies, farming opportunities, and capital improvement programs aimed at addressing traffic congestion, local school capacity, and other government services and utilities. This plan will serve as our foundation as we craft a vision for what Rutherford County will look like in the future. This vision will embrace our rich rural heritage as the linchpin for the principles that define a people of strong faith with deep roots in the land, that reflect our values of faith, family, and community. With growth comes new challenges and new opportunities, which is why we have taken the first steps in addressing the growing need for a regional forensic center in Rutherford County. This forensic center, located in Smyrna, will allow us to perform autopsies within our county, which will aid our Sheriff's Department and District Attorney with the investigation of crimes within our community. We will begin the design and engineering phase of this project shortly, which is expected to take approximately 9 months to complete. The Forensic Center will allow a long-term, sustainable, cost-effective means of providing autopsy services. We will no longer be dependent on out-of-county facilities for this. This Forensic Center will save the county money. Having said all this, none of these accomplishments would have been possible without the work and support of the county's greatest resource and asset, our employees. The expertise of the staff and directors that work in Rutherford County is only surpassed by the dedication and commitment they show and the way they perform their jobs. They exhibit the true meaning of the scripture, "Let the greatest among you serve." every department has welcomed me with open arms since I was first sworn in on September 1st a year ago, as they continue to make it their number one priority to serve the residents of Rutherford County. I believe the dedication and commitment of Rutherford County employees is absolutely second to none, and I couldn't be more proud to be part of this team. The events of the past year have demonstrated our unity, our growth, and our vision. Rutherford County is a great place to raise a family, to start a business, go to school, and enjoy our deep rural heritage. As your mayor, I will do everything in my power to make these values remain intact well into the future. Despite the differences we may have, I will continue to work together with the County Commission to make Rutherford County better every single day. While we may not agree on how to get there, we are all striving for a better future. We all envision finding a new and creative ways to work with business leaders, nonprofits, and every citizen to make sure we continue to build on the shoulders of those who have gone before us. During the last year, as I participated in various events, programs, and witnessed the fine work of so many of our charitable organizations, it became apparent to me why so many people enjoy living in Rutherford County. We have a strong sense of community, and that is why people will continue to make Rutherford County their home. I am thankful for your support, and let us continue to make Rutherford County one of the best counties, not just in Tennessee, but also in the nation. Finally, I want to share with you a scripture that has always been a guidepost for me as I try to be the best mayor I can be. The scripture, Micah 6:8. I'm sure you know it. He has shown you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. This is what we must do. That is what I will do. Thank you, and God bless you, Rutherford County.